Hey, what's up, guys? New video today. Got some new price targets for the SP 500. If you've been on this channel, you know that we're kind of big bears over here, expecting a very horrific ending to the stock market. But I think before that happens, we're probably going to continue up to much higher prices. And I'm going to talk about a pattern that we're looking at, which is kind of signaling to us that the S&P could hit close to 5,000. So I'm going to go over that today. Before I continue, it's not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before making any type of investment decision. Past performance is not an indicator of future performance, so research. All right. Now, what we're seeing is just to be clear that this market could go up forever, and we could just really start shooting up into inflation. And if we do, then these price targets are honestly invalid if we're going into a very hyperinflationary mode. But what I think is setting up is we're actually seeing a typical bubble euphoric behavior that you see at the end of these markets. And they end in a very explosive fashion upwards before just kind of tumbling down instantaneously. And I'll make another video on this another time, but typically what you see in bubble markets is you move in a channel. You usually move in some sort of channel for quite some time, and then eventually you break up, consolidate, and then you go into your blow off top. And what we're kind of seeing now is that orderly fashion. We attempted to break out, there were a bunch of false signals along the way, a new pattern emerged, and now we're breaking out of this new pattern, which is a megaphone. I'll kind of get into it, but essentially what we're going to be seeing over the next several months, maybe several years, is a blow off top move. And blow off top moves are usually the most explosive part, they're the most exciting part. That's where all the euphoria really starts going in. And then they crash. So we're kind of seeing this bubble behavior where we were moving in the orderly fashion, we broke upwards, and what actually happened was we went into a new consolidation kind of pattern, which is this megaphone. And although it's oscillating quite a bit, it is technically a consolidation pattern because it makes a move to either way, and from there you're able to measure your price target before the trend changes. So what happened was we moved in this orderly channel, then we went into this consolidation mode, and now we're breaking out of this megaphone. As we break out of this megaphone, our price target is the bottom of this megaphone here and the top here right before the breakout. We had a false breakout here, but I mean technically you could just measure the wicks. I prefer to measure this because once you see a weekly close over this period, doesn't save you too much, but you do get a little signal sooner rather than later. And looking closely at this one, what we saw was, this beautiful finish right here. This could be an island reversal, and in a bearish scenario, what we would see is we'd see a sell-off almost instantly, and then we'd get to about 35, and once we lose this 34.80 level, then we can actually start looking at much lower prices. It's possible that we bounce here and then we start moving up again, but in a bearish scenario, really losing 34.80 is probably where you want to flip short for some time and see what happens. Or, not really flip short, but just really watch the market and see how much further it can fall. Just the way we do our analysis here. But anyways, you have this close over and you take the bottom to the top there. And what we get is this price target, which would actually result in a 38% move upward. And from there, what we're gonna see is this target is actually gonna take us to 49.70, which is very close to 5,000. And this is the target we have for the S&P 500 now. So can the S&P go to 5,000? Yes, it can, based off this pattern alone. I want to keep the video kind of short, but I really want to emphasize that these markets could go up a lot higher than we expect. I kind of just have us go into this price target, and I could talk about these other bubbles I've studied, like, NASDAQ. Let's see. Um, well, I'm not going to do it here, but I've studied the NASDAQ, and we saw the same thing: move in the channel, break upwards, blow off top, and then crash. In Japan, same thing. Great Depression, same thing. Even the tulip bubble in the 1600s, you were moving, it was slowly moving up, and then all of a sudden it just started exploding. The price started exploding. So we're seeing the same thing here, and really blocking out the noise. Does it make sense this market's going this high? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to. It really doesn't have to. But this is typically what you see at the end of bubble behavior. I call it bubble behavior, euphoric behavior, where everyone's getting rich off stocks. I think it's the #1 talk right now. I think everyone's enjoying the markets right now. But there's definitely need to be cautious, especially with what's going on in the world, and especially when you see this type of explosive movement. This really signals that the end is, just a few months away. So you're going to have a few months of really good, as long as this pattern plays out, you're going to have at least a few weeks, few months to really prepare before this market starts reversing. So yeah, if you guys have any comments, questions, feel free to leave them down below. Please like, subscribe, comment if you do like the content. Any type of interaction is great. I always like seeing what people have to say. Share your opinion, whether you agree with it or not. Always more than welcome. Always welcome constructive criticism and, contrarian opinions. So feel free to leave that below. But yeah, it looks like this is kind of what we're seeing with stocks. I think it's going to be very explosive. There's going to be a lot of fireworks. And what that means for Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin is now in the log channel, so it's, everything's looking pretty good. So let me know what you think, and we'll see you next video. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time.